Text, Virtual Learning Success Stories with Students Who Are Deafblind, Wisconsin Deafblind Technical Assistance Project, DB Central. An instructor and ASL interpreter.
Okay, so I'm so happy to be here. My name is Julie Unatin, and I know these days are very, very difficult and challenging teaching students with deafblindness virtually. So I have some ideas that I've used that have been successful. And the first one is about creating materials that are accessible that families can have right at their fingertips. It requires a lot of organization on the end of the TVI or the intervener or paraprofessional, the team, the teacher. But for example, if the child can't do worksheets, I want the student to have everything they need at home. And it needs to be in order because we know kids need to anticipate what they're going to do and they have to follow a routine. So one of the things that I'm doing while I'm teaching Braille is I first teach the concept. So I send home with mom a concept bag with the individual Braille sheets.
Bags and paper.
And we end with a story that the student actually can participate in making with the parent. This one I've made.
Toy bird.
So first, if we're going to do my student loves birds, I'm going to show her a bird and talk about the main impact of the bird, which is the beakness. I only want her to be able to identify with poor vision. She has some vision, but she can use her vision, and I want her to know that most birds have a beak. I'm not focusing on every aspect. So I show her a real bird if there's one available. When we were in brick and mortar, I was able to do that. Then I get different kinds of birds, birds with feathers, birds that are plastic, because I want her to know that with the beak, it's still the bird. And once she has that, we move to pictures. So I'll show her a picture of a bird on an iPad. And I might show her through virtual 5 different kinds of birds because they all look different. Then I might show her an animated bird because that's different, but it still has a beak, so it's a bird. Once we've done that and she knows what we're talking about, I take out my tracking sheet for the words I'm going to work on.
Paper.
So you can't really see them, but the mom and the student are very, very informed. There's a print sheet that goes with it that I've written, and it will say bird, and then the other word might be can because we're working on the Braille word sign of can in Braille, and the number 1. So these are all new signs to her, and so we're just finding bird in a line, and it looks very different than her name. Bird looks different than her name in Braille, so I'm only introducing those two. By the end of one tracking sheet, she's 100% accurate because she can feel the difference between her name and bird without even knowing all the letters. Then we end with a story about a bird because I've also shown her that this is a tactile bird. I'm not putting a beak on it, but she knows the birds fly now. So we have the story in Braille that says fly, 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 birds can fly. And she reads every page, and the mom with the page number follows along in print because I've made a print version of it for her with the lines. And the fact that the child can read this book and be so happy that she participated in making it, because sometimes I send home all the little items and she can attach them, or sometimes I've made them myself. I do not move on to more words until she's successful. So since June, I've been teaching her this way, and she knew no Braille, and she has almost 16 words, and she can use them in sentences, and she can read them. So I like the bird. Same thing that we do with children that can see, repetitive, brown bear. It's very similar in Braille. The other really important thing is that I send home a binder every single week. This is my binder so that I know what I've said to her.
Displays a binder.
And I might say, this is the lesson we're doing.
A page of lesson notes.
And so there's notes to her. And then I break it up day 1, day 2, day 3, because I might stay on a lesson for more than a week and I want her to be able to just easily go back. Having the materials so that she's not searching for them is key to almost every student I work with. The last thing with her is that she can communicate with sign, but she doesn't initiate. So I made these tactile with a picture and a flash machine. That's what it's called. And I drew it and it's raised. And I gave her mom a copy and me a copy. And when she starts getting frustrated, instead of saying I'm frustrated, she might act out. I hold this up and I say to her in sign, she's looking at me very close and I'm saying, are you mad? And she looks at the picture and she'll say, I'm mad, wanna play. She communicates because she has the picture in front of her and her mom is signing in her hand what I'm saying, even though she can see me. So all of that together usually ends in a good result.
She smiles.
Thank you very much for listening.
The video ends.